Oh my gosh, I am so thrilled to say we are backstage at the Masonic in San Francisco with the one and only Tate McRae!
Hello.
Oh my God, it is great to see you face to face to face to face.
I know, finally.
So we did a Zoom when She's All I Want to Be was out. Mm-hmm. And there's been so much that's gone on since then.
Yes.
And I want to get into all of it. But first of all, welcome to the Bay Area. Welcome to San Francisco.
Thank you.
Kind of getting ready to wrap the tour up.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that you go on vacation from here.
No, I'm actually avoiding going home because there's so much piling up on my plate.
I noticed Instagram earlier today. Mm-hmm. You said, I have so much to tell you.
Yep.
Tell us. What's going on with Tate McRae right now?
That would spoil the secret. So many good secrets.
Well, you can't tease us like that and then expect me here on camera to be like, okay, we got Tate McRae. I'll ask her like all the standard questions, which I do have for you. But can you give us a sneak peek of what's going on?
Much of which will be revealed like in a couple weeks.
Okay, so we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks before we get anything out of Tate.
Yeah.
But first of all, Greedy, absolute freaking smash.
Thank you.
How good does it feel to have just yet another in a list of records that like people can't get enough of?
It's been crazy. Seeing the reaction of this one has been really wild.
It's got a different feistiness to it, I think.
Yeah, I definitely wrote from... honestly, like a lot of the music that I'm planning to release, I wrote from a totally different like place for me. I feel like a whole nother side of my personality that people haven't really seen.
Is that exciting or scary?
Both. I mean, I guess even like writing this song, I felt like it was so like out there in a sense that I was like, that people could either despise this song or love it.
Now, did you really think that?
I did.
I heard it and literally my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, oh my God. And I loved She's All I Want to Be so much.
Thank you.
And I loved, and we'll get into this later, Tiesto 1035.
Oh, thank you.
Which was fantastic as well. I DJ a lot, and legitimately, since that record wound up in my crate, every single gig I play 1035 because it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
But back to Greedy. Mm-hmm. Writing with, you wrote with Ryan Tedder and...
Amy Allen and Jasper Harris.
What's that process like of collaborative writing?
It's very interesting. So usually you have like a producer in the room. So Jasper's like producing, making all the noises and making all the sounds. And then me and Amy are at the back basically talking about my life. And we're like, what do we want to write about today? We start writing verses, we start writing back and forth. And then Tedder's like melody god. So like he'll come in and be like, ooh, and then he'll like sing like probably the chorus. And then we'll like fit all the lyrics into it. And yeah, it just kind of shapes from there.
Do you enjoy the process as much as hearing the record come back off the radio? Or even just hearing it out of the monitor speakers in the studio when you're working on it?
That is one of the best feelings, is being like, how did we even write that? Usually what happens is the first time you play it in the car, the voice memo after the session is the best feeling in the world, or the worst feeling in the world, because you're like, this is the worst song I've ever heard, or it's the best song you've ever heard.
I've heard so many artists say that you have to have those moments though where you write a bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily work to get the greedies or whatnot.
I've written so many horrible songs this year.
How do you know when something is worth, like, you're like, there's a thread of an idea here, but I don't know, but I'm going to keep working on it? And how do you know when you've got something where this is going to be a smash, or making the decision that you're just, okay, we're going to move on, even though I might love one thread of this idea?
I mean, you never know how things are going to react. So I feel like I can't ever really tell what's going to happen with the song. That I never really know. All I know is if I care about the song and I want to put it in my car and I want to play it for my friends, usually that's a sign that I want to release it.
So we get to the end of the single.
Yeah.
And you're hearing it, and then you're going to do a video for it. And then there's that whole process of the choreography and all that hard work.
Yeah.
Is that process still enjoyable? In terms of like the hours and hours of going through and practice and having stuff filmed and...
I mean, for me, love the process. That's one of my favorite parts, is the rehearsals, the getting to work with the dancers and the choreographer. Like, I just feel very lucky to be beside those like people. Like, it just blows my mind. And then I think getting on set's the scariest part for me, because I'm like, sometimes being on camera kind of is like...
Really? It never comes across that way.
Really?
Yeah.
I am having a great time. It's just like, you never know what you look like that day or like, you know, what people are going to think of you. And I guess you're putting your whole self out there and you're, you know, putting it out there for people to just judge you. So you never really know.
In terms of the actual process, how involved do you get in the choreography, or if there's something where you're like, I don't know if I want to do that, or do you roll with the punches? How involved are you?
I'm super involved. Like if I look at the take back and the lighting looks weird to me or it gives me a feeling that I'm like, no, I will immediately get everyone to change it. Like I am very, very strict when it comes to like what I want to see and what I visualize in my head.
Within that sort of realm of, okay, I don't like this, or even like in a writing process where you're collaborating with other people as a creative. If somebody, like if you've got that thing where they want you to do something or you want to do something that they don't necessarily feel. Yeah. How do you grind through those things together?
You always got to be open. Mm-hmm. I mean, I let things play through. If someone gives an idea and I'm like, I don't know, I'll let it play through for a while. And if it doesn't click, still like an hour later, or, you know, if we try a few times and it's still not working and I still don't vibe with it, I'm like, okay, I don't like it.
Let's talk greedy video.
Okay.
Is there anything more Canadian than driving a Zamboni?
It's so Canadian.
Had you ever done that before?
No.
I didn't think so. I mean, it's not like Zambonis are driving around, but we were, you know, watched the video like 10,000 times and I'm like, that looks honestly, so fun.
Honestly, I feel like that's like every little girl's dream when they watch their older brother like play hockey at the rink. You're like running around being like, I want to drive the Zamboni.
To run him over with it, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I think that was like just a cherry on top of like such a good day, was being like, I can do this.
So between that and then being in the Olivia Rodrigo video, like when you're working with friends and just having a good time, how hard is it to stop having a good time and get down to work?
I mean, I'm a workhorse, so I snap into it like really fast.
You snap other people into it?
Yep. I mean, I think not in a way where I'm like, get to work. I feel like once I get to work, everyone gets to work.
Right.
So if you're in the zone, everyone's in the zone. We got things to do. I'm like, we can have fun later.
In terms of 1035 with Tiesto, which I know is his record, but like it wouldn't be a thing without you.
Yeah.
How did that happen? And are you an EDM fan?
Honestly, I don't really know how it happened. I think his team just kind of reached out and was like, hey, would you cut this song? And I was like, yeah, I'm so down. And so I like rewrote some of the verses and hopped on it. I don't really do DJ songs. But it feels like this one, like all my brother's friends like, my brother likes. It feels like something that like we actually would listen to.
I'll be honest with you, like there are those DJ songs, but that one specifically feels like it's more than just okay, here's a track and we'll get somebody to sing it. Like it's a real record.
Yeah, and it feels like something that's still in my lane of, you know, dark pop vibe. So. And
your vocals are beautiful on that record too, by the way.
Thank you.
Not that I need to tell you that because you know that anyway, but no, that absolutely blew me away. So I loved that record.
It's so funny that I remember originally they were like, can we pitch the vocals down on this record? So it was like my voice was so long. I was like, absolutely not. We are not making me sound more like a man on this record. I was like, oh my God, I cannot hear this low.
That is crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
It was fantastic the way it was. So I think you putting the hammer down was the right thing to do.
Thank you.
You are definitely an artist. And going through the comments on a lot of your videos, people say things like, you've inspired me to write music.
Yeah.
That's got to feel unbelievable.
It does. I think honestly why that happens is because like my fans have watched me from my bedroom since I was 13. So I think I feel very like they can do it too in a sense, which they can. I feel like I started in a place that was like strictly just like my laptop and me in front of a piano, and that's how it all kind of happened. So I think that's why people end up feeling that way with like my music, is because it all started at home.
Who inspired you to actually, because obviously you started dancer first and then started writing?
Honestly, I think it wasn't specifically one person. It was I was a dancer my whole life, and as a dancer you basically get told to like shut up and like not say anything. It's like a pretty like gruesome, like I think, you know, dancers don't really get a say in things, and I felt like I was a very like expressive person and I had so much to say. And the only way I could talk about it was in like short stories or poetry or like in my journal. And then, you know, my grandpa got me a piano and I taught myself how to play and it ended up being singing.
I'd say it's worked out pretty well.
Thank you.
Who are your favorite people to listen to when you're not on the road, or maybe somebody who's in your Apple Music that we would never expect you to listen to?
Sometimes when I'm really in emo hours, I'll listen to like unreleased Playboy Cardi music.
That was the last thing I expected you to say, but okay. I love that.
And it's probably illegal, but I listen to it and I love it.
You know what? Nothing wrong with that. Get your inspiration where it comes from.
Right. It's the vibe.
Oh my God. That is so you're on tour right now and
Yeah.
get ready to wrap up, but I had read that you sleepwalk.
So bad.
I've never experienced that personally, but I could, like, when you're at home, I think that's one thing, but if you're on the road, sleepwalking's got to have like a whole different set of challenges to it.
No one wants to sleep in my hotel room with me because of how bad I sleepwalk.
Really?
I wake up at least 15 times a night sitting up, like staring, like going crazy. In the recent months, I've been like actually found myself in my hallway of my apartment where I've been like, oh my God, how did I end up here?
So when sleepwalking, or if you're awake and looking around, but you're not aware of that at the time?
No.
Wow.
I wake up in like a new spot. And also people will wake me up in the morning and be like, what happened last night? And I'm like, what do you mean? Nothing.
You sleep talk as well? Or just,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. I have full conversations, like 2 people. Yeah.
My other half, my boyfriend, actually sleep talks, and I get so much good stuff out of him that way.
Really?
Yeah. Can't keep a secret because I'll drive the conversation and find out things I shouldn't.
Yep.
So.
You should.
Before we wrap it up, for the Bay Area, what would you like to let your Bay Area fans know?
I love you guys. I'm so excited for the show tonight. Thank you for supporting me always.
And final question. Watching the One Day video earlier today, if you could go back and give advice to Tate from 5 or 7 years ago, what would it be?
Get rid of that goddamn cursive accent. Oh my God. Me at 13, my accent was crazy. And I would just be like, let's tone it down a little bit. Like, just a little bit.
Music industry wise, no advice, just turn the accent off.
Turn the accent off. And then I would just be like, trust your gut.
Well, hey, it's Tate. Thank you so much for spending time with us backstage here. And I cannot wait. We're about to go feral with you on stage here at the Masonic in San Francisco.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tate McRae with 99.7 Now.